Before markets open on Friday, June 19, 2026, we are looking across 9 major stock exchanges to find one stock with the strongest setup in each market. But here's the twist. One of these companies has its biggest corporate event of the year today. Another sits at the center of a $4 billion IPO story. And one may be positioned to benefit from the next phase of the global semiconductor boom. From Bombay to Shenzhen, London to New York. This is your global market brief for Friday, June 19, 2026. Let's count down the list. We start in India. And there is no bigger story on Dalal Street today than Reliance Industries. The company holds its 49th annual general meeting at 2 p.m. IST today. Investors are watching for one thing above all else. Jio. Jio Platforms serves over 500 million subscribers. It posted profits of over 30,000 crore rupees in FY26, up 15%. A Jio IPO filing, India's largest ever at $4 to $4.5 billion, could be announced as early as today. CLSA has a 12-month price target of 1,800 rupees, a 35% upside from current levels. In dollar terms, that is $21.60. In pounds, £16.90. In euros, 20.10. The stock is down 15% year-to-date, which means if the AGM delivers, the rebound could be significant. If it disappoints, expect selling pressure. Our BSE pick for Friday, Reliance Industries. Moving to Canada and the Toronto Stock Exchange. Shopify reported 35% GMV growth and 34% revenue growth in the first quarter of 2026. The company is now the only platform simultaneously powering commerce inside ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Google from a single system of record. Shopify's president told CNBC the company is at the epicenter of the AI era. Analysts have an average price target of $206 against a current price of $154. That is a 34% upside. In USD, that is $112.70. In pounds, $89. Q2 earnings are expected August 5th. AI commerce tools and international merchant adoption remain the key catalysts. Our TSX pick for Friday, Shopify. Shanghai next. And we're watching China's consumer spending story. Kwaichow Matai is China's most premium spirits brand, a barometer for domestic consumer confidence. After a period of weakness driven by weak consumer demand, stabilization signals from China's domestic economy are making premium consumer names worth watching again. Matai's brand strength, government relationships, and pricing power make it uniquely positioned in a recovery scenario. The key risk is a false dawn. If consumer confidence fails to sustain, the premium segment suffers first. The key catalyst is any sign of accelerating domestic spending. Our SSE pick for Friday, Kwaichow Matai. London. And Rolls-Royce is having one of its best years in recent memory. The company reported record profits in February 2026, driven by aerospace recovery, defense spending, and nuclear energy contracts. Berenberg upgraded the stock to buy in June with continued positive momentum. The current share price on the LSE is £6.82. In USD, that is $8.65. In euros, €8 too. 3 separate tailwinds, civil aerospace, defense, and nuclear, are all moving in the right direction simultaneously. That is an unusual combination for a single stock. The risk is aviation demand weakening or defense budget cuts. But the current setup remains constructive. Our LSE pick for Friday, Rolls-Royce Holdings. New York Stock Exchange. And for the current environment, we are favoring resilience over growth. JP Chase has the strongest balance sheet in global banking. Diversified revenue across investment banking, retail, wealth management, and markets means the company is not dependent on any single macro environment. The current price is $248. In pounds, 196. In euros, 230. The PE ratio of 13 times is historically attractive for a bank of this quality. Analysts have an average target of $285, a 15% upside. The risk is economic contraction and rising credit losses. The catalyst is continued market activity and stable earnings. Our NYSE pick for Friday, JP Chase. Nasdaq. And the most globally influential pick on today's list. NVIDIA reported record revenue of $81.6 billion for the first quarter ended April 2026. That is up 85% from a year ago. Data center revenue alone was $75.2 billion, up 92%. Jensen Huang called it the largest infrastructure expansion in human history. 62 analysts cover the stock. Average rating, strong buy. Average price target, $200. Against a current price of $142.80. That is a 40% upside. In pounds, $112.80. In euros, $132.50. The company also announced an $80 billion share buyback and increased its quarterly dividend by 25 times. The risk is valuation pressure and customer-developed chips. Our Nasdaq pick for Friday, Nvidia. Hong Kong. Tencent remains one of the most diversified tech platforms globally. Gaming, cloud computing, fintech, and increasingly, artificial intelligence. The stock trades at 20 times earnings, a discount to global tech peers despite comparable growth. Gaming approval momentum in China remains the near-term catalyst. AI integration across WeChat and the cloud business is the longer-term story. The current price is 408 Hong Kong dollars. In USD, $52.40. In pounds, 41.40. In euros, 48.70. The key risk is regulatory changes from Beijing and any broader slowdown in China's economy. Our HAX pick for Friday, Tencent Holdings. Shenzhen. And electric vehicles. BYD is forecast to sell 5.5 million vehicles in 2026, a 30% increase over 2025. For overseas production bases in Thailand, Indonesia, Brazil, and Hungary are ramping simultaneously, making BYD a genuinely global EV manufacturer. JP Morgan has a price target of 560 yuan, a 52% upside from current levels. In USD, that target translates to approximately $77, against a current dollar equivalent of $50.60. The risk is intensifying EV competition from domestic rivals and pricing pressure on margins. But the international expansion story remains one of the most compelling in global automotive. Our SCC pick for Friday, BYD. And finally, Euronext Amsterdam. ASML is the only company in the world that manufactures extreme ultraviolet lithography machines. Without ASML, there are no advanced chips. Without advanced chips, there is no AI. It is the single most critical supplier in the semiconductor value chain. Bank of America raised its price target to 1,921 euros in early June 2026 from 1,710. Barclays raised its target to 1,900 euros. Against a current price of 946 euros, a 103% upside at the BofA target. In USD, the current price is approximately $1,018. In pounds, 803. The risk is export restrictions and a potential semiconductor downturn. But the AI chip production cycle remains firmly in ASML's favor. Our Euronext pick for Friday, ASML Holding. And that completes our 9 exchange global market brief for Friday, June 19, 2026. 9 exchanges. 9 stocks. From Reliance's AGM in Mumbai to Nvidia's AI dominance in Silicon Valley. From Rolls-Royce's aerospace revival in London to ASML's semiconductor monopoly in Amsterdam. The global market is telling a story, and that story is being written around artificial intelligence, energy transition, and the companies positioned at those intersections. Which stock do you think has the best chance of outperforming tomorrow? Comment the exchange you are watching. Subscribe to UDC and check back daily for our next global stock brief covering every major market. I'll see you in the next one.